Hey guys, me again, the HEMA Reviews guy here. Today I will do a, basically, this jacket has run its course. It's dead and I need to replace it, and I do have a new one ordered. And I want to give you my full review of what I thought of it, how I liked it, and what I didn't like about it. So this will not be really a numerical review, I will just give you my thoughts. I've been to some tournaments with this jacket, it's been through a whole lot with me. I'm kind of sad that it has to go, and I'm hoping that the new jacket will be at least as good. So this is the Neyman Augmented Jacket, and it's the old one. I don't think you can get these anymore. So even though this might be a little bit of a redundant review, which is one of the reasons I'm not really giving it numbers, I want to give you an impression of what Neyman did right, wrong, and what other jacket manufacturers should strive to emulate here. First off, these things here. So I'm gonna start top to bottom. These things here, the shoulder pads, I thought they were gonna suck. When I first got the jacket, before it was broken in, I took them off and I thought, yeah, that's fine, I don't need them anymore. Sometime later, I get a few very hard strikes to the shoulder area, and my collarbone has been popped out for a while now. It wasn't from sword fighting, but I am a little bit paranoid about it. So I put them back on and they work like a charm. I'm so very glad I put them back on and they have them. The Velcro, as is to be expected, actually popped off and wouldn't go back on again after like a year and a half of use. So I just sewed it on because I knew I was gonna be using this all the time now that I actually experienced getting strikes to the collarbone without it, and that was quite painful. So that's one of the things I really like about this jacket. The collar is quite good. Now, it doesn't have a blade catcher, but that was my fault because I forgot to include it in the order because they had like a checkbox for it, and I didn't do it. I wish I had, but this thing actually had a good enough fit that I didn't have a gap, even though I had my bib over the jacket. So I had my bib here, and even if I put my head up, I did not have any space where skin would be exposed, so I was comfortable with using it. And I could still put the bib into the jacket for tournaments so that I was completely safe. Next thing, let's talk about the fabric. The fabric is quite good, even though it does have some tears now. These tears are... I didn't wash this jacket as many times as I should have. As you can probably see now, it has all these salt patches and shit, and I didn't know how to wash them at first. I didn't know if you could, and if the filling would just kind of bunch up, and later on they told me that I could, but I guess it was too late. And these are from us practicing Shilhao with swords that had very sharp points, very sharp edges on the points, so I don't think many jackets would have actually not ripped here after such a treatment. But I'm relatively happy with the fabric. I think they switched to a new one, if I'm not mistaken, but don't hold me to my word. I will tell you when I get the new jacket. I did get to go with the shoulder pads, something to cover this area of the upper arm as well. I did not use that. I put it off, and I never actually missed it because this is a muscular area. The most I got was a bruise or two. The forearm protectors, I did not use. They came with the jacket, with the augmented jacket, but I did not use them because I dislike that type of just, you know, a fully enclosed semi-hard shell thingy, because I can't cross my arms well in that case. So I just kind of made my own thing here from thick rubber, and they don't work as well protectively, but they work well enough for me. So I'm willing to have a couple of bruises if it allows me to have more mobility here. The jacket did have quite some issues with very narrow wrist holes. So it's quite difficult to get off, and just like 2 or 3 months after I got this jacket, we got a bunch of new jackets as well, and all of those had elastic on, which makes them, on this wrist holes, which makes them so much easier to take off, and that was great. Now, the overlap is double. and it has two zippers. I did not actually have any problem with the zippers, even though other clubmates have had, like, you know, most of the zippers. These parts just fall off, so we had to use some key rings to replace them. But there is a double overlap, as with most jackets. Stabs were, for the most part, completely fine, except with the hardest of thrusts. So I'm happy with this, and this is something that I am so very grateful for. These pockets for the ribs. When you get a strong hit to the ribs, it's scary, as you probably know. Like, if you get a really strong hit to the ribs and it doesn't have something like these inserts here, and you're going, shit, is the rib cracked? Is it not? And 2 or 3 days later you go, oh, okay, thank God, it's fine. Because strikes here, especially like some middelhouden or loodsverks, can be very, very strong and very painful. I am super happy that they put it in, and I know more manufacturers started to do that, which is amazing. Thank you so much for doing that to all of you manufacturers who do it. And I recommend to anyone that does tournament fencing that you get something like this. It does not impair your movement at all. As far as heat absorption or cooling off goes, it's about the same as a regular AP jacket from Spes, which is basically the standard. So it's not stellar. You still overheat in the summer by quite a lot. However, it's workable, I guess. With the new materials, I have to see now how much better it is, and with the lighter jackets, such as the AP Light and so on. Sadly, I did have a Spes officer jacket, but it was made a little bit too small for me, so I couldn't use it as much. And even though I did try, and it was a lot more breathable, a lot cooler, but at an almost scary price of protection. So it was a lot less protective. I really like this jacket, and if it was still being made, I would actually recommend it to a lot of people. However, I have not tried a lot of the newer jackets that have been made. So what I need to do is I still need to try out the AP Light. I need to try out some of the Gallardoni stuff. I actually tried the Black Harmony one, which I wasn't completely impressed with. But I do think that this one is one of the better ones that I've had for tournament fencing. So I hope this is useful to you. I have to say, I really like Neyman stuff and what they make. I just wish that they cooled down a bit with the new stuff. So they have this tendency of putting out better and improved models at the cost of production. So a lot of their stuff is always late, which is, it bugs me a little bit. But they do make good stuff, and even their swords have gotten really good now, actually. Even though I have one of their swords, I have to ask them a couple of questions before the my review comes in. So I hope this was useful for you. I hope this gives you some insight into what a good jacket is, and if you liked it, of course, subscribe. Otherwise, have a good one.